Hey everyone, I'm Nadia from VRLA Tech, and today I have the pleasure of introducing our newest model, the Spark. We at VRLA Tech made a name for ourselves with our entry-level PC builds, the Vulcan and the Rogue. Those PCs were some of our best sellers for a long time. We know that there's a need for low-priced gaming computers. The Vulcan and the Rogue were eventually discontinued because the parts aged to a point where we couldn't source them anymore. But we knew that we needed a way to bring affordable PC gaming back. Enter the Spark. This APU-powered machine is the perfect entry into PC gaming. The Ryzen 5 5600G that powers this build is an incredible starting point, and miles beyond any CPU that we've used in an entry-level build before. First, I'll talk a little more about the parts that make up the Spark, and then we'll take it for a test drive and I'll show you how it performs in-game. The Spark features the Ryzen 5 5600G, a Zen 3 architecture CPU with integrated Radeon graphics. It's a 6-core, 12-thread CPU with 7 graphics compute units, making it perfect for all kinds of PC tasks, including gaming, web browsing, and online school or work. AMD created this CPU with the current graphics card market in mind, and they made it possible to game in 1080p without a graphics card. The Spark has 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM because honestly, in 2021, if your PC has less than 16, you're being ripped off. And for the Spark, in our build process, we enable XMP, which boosts the speed of your RAM so you can get the most out of your CPU. All of this is powered by a 500-watt power supply, which is plenty of power for the system, and it gives you plenty of room to add a GPU if you want to down the line. We went with the name Spark because we want this PC to spark your imagination. It's a starting point, a beginning. The Spark is the perfect platform to start your PC journey because this computer gives you a ton of flexibility to customize in the future. Now, let's take a look at how the Spark performs in-game. We've tested a few popular titles to give you an idea of how the Spark can work for you. Okay, so we're here on the ground in Fortnite. We're on low graphics settings right now. You can see up in the top corner that we are pushing nearly 200 frames per second. Again, without a graphics card installed at all. This is all integrated AMD's Radeon software. So, I'll just kill a chicken. Why? I don't know. I just want to shoot something. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't look like, oh, someone is around. I'm gonna die. Sir, I'm trying to make an informational video. Let's try this again. If you're a person who is interested in playing games like this on low, because you want to maximize your frame rate, you can absolutely do that. And you can kill people. Now we're gonna test it out on medium. I don't know if it comes across in the camera, but right now I can see like the 3D models look a little better. They're not as jagged around the edges, and we're still maintaining a pretty high frame rate at in the mid 80s. What can you do? What can you do? Cool, so after my untimely death, we re-entered Fortnite and now we're on high graphics settings. So right now I have VSync turned on, which is giving us a pretty smooth 30 frames per second on high. I probably wouldn't play this game on high personally if this was my computer. I would more than likely switch back and head on to medium because I feel like that gives you the best middle ground between a relatively high frame rate and then also... Ooh. Sorry, it's hard to talk and kill people at the same time, you know? But medium gives you, 70, 80, sometimes 90 frames depending on where you are, and then also you get a pretty good looking game. Here we are in CSGO. I'm gonna play against some bots. If they kill me, no one make fun of me. But right now we are on low settings, and up at the top I see that we're pushing over 200. All right. Okay. This game is not super taxing, it's pretty well optimized, and it is running, I see, 200, 300, 100, 200, 300, so it's like probably averaging around in the mid 200s on low settings. So let me go hide in a corner somewhere and we'll bump this up. So here we are on medium settings, and honestly it looks about the same, and we are still pushing well above 190 into the 200s. So here we are in high settings. It's still getting over 100, but it's significantly lower. Earlier we were pushing 200 on medium, now we're in like high 90s, 115, 120. What? Yes, I'm bad at this game. Okay, I just want to successfully kill something so that we can use it in the video. Okay, so here we are in Rocket League. Forgive me, I'm playing with mouse and keyboard, but we're on high performance, so Rocket League's equivalent of low settings, and we're getting right now in a consistent like 145-ish FPS. It goes a little higher and a little lower. I'm just gonna bump it up. So we bumped it up to the equivalent of medium, so we're on a mix of quality and performance settings. And we're getting a solid 90 FPS, and it looks a lot clearer, so things are more crisp, it's easier to see what's going on. I mean, not for me, I never know what's going on in this game. But, but it's a little easier to read. I would probably play this game at these settings, just because you get, it's a competitive game. You want to push as many frames as possible, but also, no one wants to play games unless they look good, right? Okay, let's pump this up to high and see where that leaves us. Here we are in high, in about 80, about 70. It honestly didn't have as much of an impact on the frame rate as I expected it to. So you honestly could get away with playing this game on high settings on this computer. Like, pretty easily, actually. Okay, so here we are in Overwatch. We're on low settings. Some firefights going on right now, and we're hovering above 100 FPS. We're spiking, in the 100s, so depending on what's going on, if there's a lot of like the effects of explosives and shooting and stuff, we're getting around 100, and then if you're kind of just flying around and dipping around the map, it was spiking up to like 140. So definitely well above playable. And also this game is optimized for low graphics settings because it's made to be an esports title, so it looks great. The way that they did the textures in this game make it so that it looks good on pretty much any graphic setting. But let's jump over to high and then we'll wrap it up on medium. Overwatch requires a restart every time you change the graphics settings, so we're back in on high now. And even in the midst of like being kind of attacked by everyone, we're still maintaining a solid 75, high 70s, 80 now. We've still got a pretty great frame rate, even on high settings in this game. If you wanted something more consistent, you could lock on VSync, and that would smooth everything out so that you're not getting those really high spikes and then the dips. And that would give you a more console-like experience, but let's go ahead and hop out of here again and come back on medium, which is probably what most people would play this game on. Here we are in Overwatch on medium settings. We're getting around 100 FPS. So it's similar to low, where there's like spikes and dips, but the it's like these people have no regard for the fact that I'm trying to tell an informational video and also play a video game at the same time. They have no respect. So yeah, it's a similar frame rate. It's a similar frame rate to low, but you get just a little bit of boost in graphics quality. And so this, again, like most of the other games that we've tested so far in this video, this is going to be a great sweet spot on medium settings. Between high frames, definitely higher than console, so the above 60 FPS frames, and still at like good quality graphic settings. If you're super competitive and you just want to push as many frames as possible, I would definitely opt for low in pretty much any game you play, whether or not you have a Spark, because that's just going to get you the highest frame rate. But as for this, like, if you're someone who plays a lot of competitive games and wants to push really high frame rates, you can do that with this system without a graphics card. Now, let's take a look at how the Spark performs in-game. I actually already did that part. Now, you might be wondering, why buy the Spark when you could get a console? If the only thing you want to do is play video games, then sure, get a console. But PCs are so much more than that. You can play games with more options than any other platform and without a yearly fee to play online. You can get online and stream videos or create content, do schoolwork, or even get into a new hobby. PC gaming gives you all of that and more. If you want to learn more about the Spark or any of our other gaming PCs, visit our website at www.vrlatech.com. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and we'll do our best to get back to them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.